Bitcoin.
There we go. This is Bitcoin prices. And there's data that I like to follow in the Commitment of Traders report. And usually in the Commitment of Traders report data, it is the commercial traders who have the best message about what prices are going to do. The commercials are the smart money. A commercial trader is one who uses the subject commodity in their trader business. So if you're Cargill or Archer Daniels Midland, you're a commercial trader of corn futures, for example. If you're Goldman Sachs, you're a commercial trader of the S&P 500. There's not a lot of commercial traders in Bitcoin. And so the smart money tends to be the large speculators, meaning the non-commercial traders. And right now, as of last week's data, they are net long to a pretty large degree. And when they get down to one of these big net long positions, as opposed to being up a big net short position, that's a topping indication. When they get down to a big net long position on this indicator, that's really good for what happens to Bitcoin prices in the next few weeks and months. So I don't know what they know. These numbers don't tell us that. It just tells us what they're doing with their positioning. And Bitcoin has already bottomed and started moving higher. And these guys are still getting even more net long while that's happening. And so that's good news for Bitcoin. Again, I have no idea why that matters or what they know. I don't know what's going to drive Bitcoin prices higher. All I know is that these guys tend to be right when they get to a large skewed position. They're the experts. And so I take that message from them. Did you have a question about that?
I could argue with you about that, but I won't, because you are entitled to your opinion. I do a lot of work with commitments of traders data. Everybody is entitled to their opinion to how it works and how it works in each individual market. You are seeing that the large specs are very long here, and you are believing that that is bullish. And I think we can just leave it at that. I completely disagree, but that's me, you know.
Well, and usually in most other futures contracts, when the large specs get tilted one way or the other, it's you want to go against them. Usually, it works differently in Bitcoin, uniquely among all futures contracts.
I don't know.
I
don't know if we have enough data to conclude that. It would be my pushback. I don't know if there's been enough history of Bitcoin futures necessarily to conclude that. I don't know if the last time they were short on that chart right there was bullish. Don't look like it was bullish to me.
No, when they were net short, it was a top. And when they get to
looking at your chart right there, look at the last time that they were at this level. No,
net long.
That doesn't look like it went up after that. That looks like it went down, and it doesn't look like it went back up until they got back to that net short position.
This very low net.
And that's just one example. That's what I'm saying. I don't think there's a history of this. It looks from my testing to this point, it has been pretty random. But I see where you're going, and you are certainly entitled to believe that.
when they do get to net short on this chart scaling, that's a high reading, and that's a topping indication for prices, meaning that it goes down after that. Sometimes they are early, as we saw over here. Oops, there's something popping up on here, but hopefully you're not seeing that. But when they get to net long, that's a negative reading on this chart scaling, and that tends to be aligned with bottoms. And so, Bitcoin futures have only been trading for a few years, so we don't have as much history as we do elsewhere. But we've been working pretty well.
Okay. So you are bullish Bitcoin.